Coming up on News Live at 6, some big changes coming to Falk College. Find out what later in the show.
Plus, Syracuse University announces its class of 2024 commencement keynote speaker.
Sunny skies sticking around for the spring. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Joining us tonight at 6, I'm Olivia Maniscalco.
And I'm Perik. We're going to get to those top stories in just a moment. But first tonight, we're going to begin with the latest in that deadly shooting of 2 Syracuse police officers. 2 processions have been held now just in the last 24 hours following the death of 2 police officers back on Sunday. Today, hundreds of first responders lining up among the streets as Syracuse police officer Michael Jensen's body was returned from Syracuse to a funeral home in his hometown of Rome. And Michael Jensen's death marks the first Syracuse police officer to be killed in the line of duty in 30 years.
And last night, the procession of the second officer killed in the line of duty, Lieutenant Michael Husuk. CitrusTV cameras was on the scene at Husuk's body was taken from the Onondaga County Medical Examiner's office to a funeral home in the town of Salina. Funeral plans for both officers have not been announced.
They encountered the vehicle.
And late this afternoon, Onondaga County Sheriff's Office releasing the image right there on your screen of the suspect in the fatal shooting of the 2 officers. 33-year-old Christopher Murphy is accused of opening fire through his living room, shooting 2 police officers. And Murphy was shot dead then by officers.
And also late today, the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office saying that the gun used to shoot the 2 deputies was illegal. Murphy had an AR-15 semi-automatic weapon and was considered illegal because it had more than 10 rounds. And
we will continue to update you on this developing story both online and on air. And now we turn to other major news this Tuesday night. Falk College announcing it will be changing its name as part of a bigger shift. Live at Falk College tonight to tell us more is Citrus TV's Matt Lesnick. Matt, good evening. What do we know?
Good evening, John. That's right. Falk College announced Monday that they will be dropping the human dynamics part of their name and will simply now be known as the College of Sport. This comes as a part of a greater reimagining of the school, which aims to focus more on sports. Now, while that's a big step for the school, it's not one that a lot of people want to take.
I feel like our kind of section of Falk was kind of like deleted, I guess, from the title.
Monday, SU's David B. Falk College of Sport Management and Human Dynamics announced it would be dropping the human dynamics part of its name, becoming simply the College of Sport. The name change comes as a part of a reimagining of the school, making it more sport-focused. Initial reactions from students.
I was shocked,
confused, surprised by it. Really confusing and frustrating.
Not great. In an announcement to students, the school said, quote, "Today, Syracuse University will announce that the David B. Falk College of Sport and Human Dynamics will become the David B. Falk College of Sport, further establishing Syracuse University as a leading institution for sport education and research." Students who major in a study that falls under human dynamics are not too happy.
And it's sad to see that we're being pushed to the side. We don't know where we're going. They have barely given us any information.
We don't have a nursing school anymore, so all pre-med students in Falk are human dynamics.
As students were blindsided by the info, it hit harder for some students than others.
After being in Falk for 3 years now and having it as my little home, I have most of my classes there. Going in there yesterday after receiving the email, I was just this just doesn't feel right.
Students currently enrolled in courses that fall under human dynamics will be able to finish their studies with no major changes. Now, there will be more news to come in the coming weeks. However, that's all I have right now. Reporting live in Syracuse, I'm Matt Lesnick. John and Olivia, back to you.
Matt, thank you. Certainly an interesting update. Now, if you've ever been to SU's abroad program like me in Florence, Italy, you'll surely know the 2024 commencement speaker, Dario Nardella, mayor of Florence. Mayor Nardella was first elected in 2014 and is currently serving his second term as mayor. There's a deep connection between the university and Florence, as the Daniel and Gail Daniello Syracuse University program in Florence has welcomed tens of thousands of students for more than 60 years. But not all seniors are feeling the deep connection.
I don't know how I feel about the speaker. I feel like as the class of 2024, we started off college with COVID, so I feel like we should have a speaker that can allude to that in some way. And also, as someone who didn't go abroad, I'm not sure what to expect from a speaker like that.
Now, the commencement ceremony is set for Sunday, May 12th in the JMA Wireless Dome at 9:30 a.m.
Graduation almost there. Well, SU celebrates Disability Pride Week tonight with keynote speaker Allie Stroker. Our Michael Lamort has more on how Inclusive U kicked off the celebratory week.
It's Disability Pride Week here at SU, and to kick off 7 days of celebration, Inclusive U hosted an event last night in the Barn Center with lots and lots of gaming.
Oh yeah, let's go!
That is a shot right there.
And students part of the program are saying events like these during Disability Pride Week are necessary to spread awareness.
It's a good way of showing people around the world that if you have disabilities, go for it.
Even when people put you down and stuff, it's good to show your pride of your disability.
We could all be as one, not just two different sides of the pyramid.
But sometimes students with disabilities feel it's hard to tear that pyramid down.
I feel like sometimes I get excluded. I'm very, very friendly, and it's like people are mad at me because of it. And it really, really hurts my heart.
Which is why Inclusive U says it has spent the last 10 years developing the largest program of its kind to help students with disabilities remove that pyramid.
We have, like I said, the largest program, over 100 students. So it's really, as the title says, that inclusive experience to integrate everyone together and to have that seamless college experience.
And Inclusive U is saying that everyone is welcome, disability or not, to join them right here in the Barn Center once a week in the gaming lounge to help unite the Orange family. If you're looking to stop by an Inclusive U or a Disability Pride Week event, you can check ahead of time by visiting the Syracuse Community Calendar website. Reporting from an esports gaming room full of smiles,
I was on TV.
Mike Lamort, Citrus TV News.
Mike, thank you very much. Well, finally, blue skies abounding. It's springtime in Syracuse. The winter worries are behind us. What a great feeling.
I mean, seriously, there is no better feeling than when there is a blue sky in Syracuse, because as we know, they don't come very often.
Well, I didn't like Kaitlin Campbell's forecast last Tuesday when it was really nice out and the rain was coming. Kaitlin, tell me we got a new forecast.
John, I wish I could say that was the case, but that unfortunately will not be. I'll have the full 5-day forecast later. But let's focus on the sunny skies right now. We're seeing the sun out right now, 59 degrees. It's like your spring day here. You just have to ignore the rain that's coming up later in the show. We're seeing some 9-mile-per-hour winds, so go out on the quad, soak up the sunshine while you can. Tonight, we'll see the clouds start to move in, and it will drop to about 54 degrees. And again, we'll see those 3-mile-per-hour winds, but we'll kind of stay steady in the 50s. Now, if we look around the region, everybody else is kind of experiencing those same 50-degree temperatures, spring-like conditions, but not like we saw last week with those 70-degree temperatures. All of your full 5-day forecast later in the show, but for right now, that's all I have.
Kaitlin, thank you. Looking forward to that 5-day forecast. Now, earlier this month, an adjunct professor was let go after they said racial slurs while teaching. We're now hearing from a student who was inside the classroom. Our Max Williams reports.
Tonight, a Syracuse University student is speaking out after he caught his professor saying racial slurs.
And I kind of just sat there for a moment and looking around at my other classmates who were also equally shocked.
Stephen Warshaw was hired by the university in January and was teaching in the Fall College of Sport and Human Dynamics. According to students, Warshaw was referring to bad names for NFL teams and used terms such as the New York Jews and the Chicago N-words.
it's like ingrained in me that like these people are supposed to know what they're doing, be very professional. So I kind of like, it takes like a second for me to register that, oh, this is not okay.
Jackson Bayek is an African-American student at SU and says the terms Warshaw used were insulting to him.
I was definitely angry and sad that somebody would use that word and not have the knowledge and understanding of what that word really means and how impactful it is to people of color specifically.
But this is not the only incident Warshaw has used this type of behavior in the classroom.
It would say things that would make other students uncomfortable, specifically the female students in the class and minority students in the class, saying different like stereotypical things to like the Asian kids in the class.
CitrusTV reached out to a Syracuse University spokesperson for comment, but has not heard back. And did you ever see this coming since the first day of class from this professor?
No, I did not. I think being at Syracuse and this is such a reputable like place, you kind of go in thinking that everybody kind of knows.
In Syracuse, Max Williams, Citrus TV News.
Our Max Williams, thank you very much. And we now have new updates on a boy who went missing back in 2020. The remains of 12-year-old Jalen Griffin was found inside a house in Buffalo. He had last been seen on August 4th of 2020 when he left his home in East Buffalo.
His body was found Friday in a house nearly 5 miles away in southern Buffalo. Jalen's identity was confirmed through the use of dental records on Monday. And Micron has begun posting jobs for its future site in Clay. More than 20 positions have been posted on Micron's website, including engineers, health and safety managers, and more. The plant is not expected to open, though, until 2029, and Micron says they plan to start heavily recruiting later next year.
Still ahead tonight at 6, the surprising candidate leading the pack in the race to replace Brandon Williams. Our Luke Radel has the latest on the race for Congress here in Syracuse.
Plus, jurors are finally chosen in President Trump and former President Trump's hush money trial. Your campus news leader is back in 2 minutes.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with John Perik, Olivia Maniscalco, and Kaitlin Campbell. Now, your campus news leader continues.
The race to decide who could replace Congressman Brandon Williams is just a few weeks away. Candidates are working hard to raise money for their campaigns. And let's check in with our political reporter, Luke Radel now, who is breaking down the numbers in the race for Congress here in Syracuse. Luke, good evening.
Good evening, John. Every 3 months, the candidates need to report to the Federal Election Commission how much money their campaigns have raised and spent. The numbers provide an indication of how well a campaign is doing so far. So let's take a look at the leaderboard in the Democratic primary in New York's 22nd Congressional District to decide who's going to go up against Syracuse Congressman Brandon Williams in the fall. Now, in the lead for the third straight quarter, DeWitt Town Councilor Sarah Kleehood with $329,000 in total for the past 3 months. In a statement, Kleehood said that, quote, "The numbers show that our campaign has the momentum to beat Brandon Williams and bring the voices of everyday Central New Yorkers to Congress." Her success is largely thanks to individual contributions and a boost from a potential future colleague. The Great Chain PAC is run by Hudson Valley Congressman Pat Ryan, gave the Kleehood team $5,000, which is pretty significant because Ryan was the only Democrat to win in a toss-up race, New York's 18th district, during the 2022 elections. Now, the donation is a sign that he believes that Kleehood is stronger and more viable than her opponents, John Mannion or Clemmy Harris. But let's talk about those opponents for a second. We'll begin with Clemmy Harris, whose filings indicated a little bit of money trouble. He raised $5,000, just over $5,000, but spent over $9,000, almost double the amount that he had raised. From quarter to quarter over the last 3 quarters, he has been raising less and less, which is not a good sign of growth for his campaign. But a sign of growth for John Mannion's campaign is that he has raised his best quarter yet, $302,000, which is still less than that of Sarah Kleehood. The race is still neck and neck, which is why we're hoping to welcome all of the candidates for a debate next Thursday right here on Citrus TV. Mannion had previously said he couldn't attend due to the unpredictable budget schedule, but that excuse appears to have been resolved by the governor last night. Take a look.
I'm pleased to announce that we have the parameters of a conceptual agreement on the fiscal year 2025 state budget. This is quite an accomplishment.
Now, Hochul says she believes the budget will be passed by the end of this week, so we're hopeful that Senator Mannion will be able to show up right here on the 25th. But tonight we have a very special announcement for you. That next week, the race to replace Brandon Williams, he'll be joining us on air for an exclusive one-on-one interview. I'm looking forward to sharing more details with that on you soon. But for now, I'm sending it back over to you, John and Olivia.
Luke, thank you. Definitely looking forward to seeing that in person. Well, after more than half of the 96 potential jurors summoned to the court yesterday said they would not be fair and impartial in a case involving Trump, 6 jurors have been sat for Donald Trump's hush money trial.
And the jurors were asked to come back to the courtroom on Monday. Having the jurors return indicates that Judge Merchant thinks it's possible that the jury selection could be completed by then. However, the jurors were warned that their return time could get pushed further into the week due to Passover or other circumstances. And now let's shift here to details emerging tonight about the United States' response to Iran's attack on Israel. The Pentagon announcing in a press conference yesterday that the United States intercepted more than 110 drones in Iran's attack on Saturday, with the Defense Secretary calling the response a success.
It's pretty telling that Iran launched over 300 air threats, as I highlighted, and 99% of those were knocked down.
Despite the high percentage of interception, one injury has been reported related to the attack. A 7-year-old girl was struck by falling shrapnel and as of Monday remains in critical condition.
And coming up, I'll have your full 5-day forecast. You don't want to miss it.
I don't remember how it started.
Talk to Dad.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Dad! They took over my bedroom! Come on, come on! Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me!
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Now let's take a look at that 5-day forecast. As I said earlier, unfortunately, it's not too much of a good one. We're seeing right now the rain through Wednesday through Friday. At least I have to say we have those spring temperatures. Unlike the weekend, we're seeing that it dips into lows of 36 here on Saturday and Sunday. So we're kind of getting a little bit of everything. We're getting the rain, we're getting the spring temperatures, but then again, we're getting like the February temperatures of dipping back into the low 30s. But today, if you notice that your allergies were acting up, that's because the tree pollen content was pretty high. So if you were noticing or experiencing any allergies, you can always go and take some allergy meds, maybe some eye drops, stay inside, observe the sun from a distance. But you know, today might have not been the best day to go out and hang out in the grass. That's definitely not a great option if you have a ton of allergies. But that's all I have for right now. Guys, back to you.
All right, Kaitlin, well, let's get the sunshine back sooner than later. Now, a prominent pilots union is voicing safety concerns about American Airlines. A release by the American Pilots Association says it's found, quote, problematic trends in safety procedures, citing tools left in wheel wells, lengthy times between inspections, and an increase in towing collisions.
The union said they're collaborating with the airline to try and come to a resolution. In the meantime, though, they tell pilots to remain vigilant and cautious when it comes to safety procedures.
It's always good to have your airlines as safe as possible. Well, Asia Fair is officially going pro. Find out where she's headed and other fun news and sports after these messages.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
we've got something to say. Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Asia Fair, a Las Vegas ace. Welcome into sports. I'm Liam Griffin. The legendary Syracuse point guard was drafted 16th overall in last night's WNBA draft, becoming the first Orange player selected since Brittany Sykes back in 2017. Fair's college career, from Buffalo to Syracuse, was nothing short of remarkable. Standing at just 5'5", she scored 3,403 career points, good for third all-time in women's college basketball history. A phenomenal collegiate player, and Fair has no doubts her game will translate to the next level.
I mean, it's a mindset. I mean, Coach Jack has instilled a mindset in me since the day we met, so yeah.
Attitude like that, I'm sure New York Liberty fans would have loved to see Fair play her home games at the Barclays Center, but that wasn't in the cards. Instead, the Liberty took Ole Miss guard Marquisha Davis with the 11th pick. She averaged 9 points and 4 rebounds per game for the Rebels this year. Elsewhere in the WNBA draft, as expected, Caitlin Clark went #1 overall to the Indiana Fever, and former Syracuse center Camila Cardoso, drafted by the Chicago Sky, she'll team up with LSU superstar Angel Reese. Elsewhere on the hardwood, transfer forward Jair Davis announced his commitment to Syracuse men's basketball late on Monday. The former Delaware Blue Hen averaged over 17 points and 7 rebounds per contest this past season, earning him a second-team all-conference recognition. Davis becomes the second incoming transfer to join the Orange this offseason, joining former Colorado big man Eddie Lampkin Jr. To stay up to date on all Syracuse men's basketball transfer portal news, keep it locked to our social media pages at CitrusTV Sports. Despite snapping a 2-game losing skid on Saturday, 6th-ranked Syracuse men's lacrosse has developed a bit of a concerning habit. The Orange haven't played well at all in the fourth quarter recently. SU has been outscored 8-1 in the final frame of its last 2 contests, a double overtime loss to Cornell, and a 1-goal nail-biter over North Carolina. That was a win. Syracuse's leading scorer Joey Spallina knows the key to solving those woes is for the team to keep its composure.
Yeah, I think, we talked about it all week, calm is contagious, and there were times, where we weren't as calm as, we maybe wanted to, or, maybe you've done some uncharacteristic things, but, I think you learn from a win like that.
You can learn from a win like that, I should say, but Syracuse probably won't find success against number 4 Virginia if it doesn't play well in the fourth quarter. In both of the Cavaliers' losses this season, they've been outscored over the final 15 minutes. Opening face-off Saturday is scheduled for 2 o'clock. Follow men's lacrosse beat reporter Adam Gotkin on X at Adam_Gotkin for updates on the contest. Ending on the ice, the NHL regular season is coming to a close, and the playoff picture is getting clearer for both NYC teams. More so for the Islanders. They clinched the 3rd seed in the Metropolitan Division last night, securing a first-round matchup with the Hurricanes for the 2nd time in as many years. Carolina knocked New York out in 6 games in 2023. As for the Islanders' crosstown rivals, the Rangers secured the President's Trophy with the most points in the NHL last night. The Blue Shirts don't know their opponent, though. Could be any of the Capitals, Red Wings, Penguins, or Flyers. We'll find out over the next few days. But on the President's Trophy, John and Olivia, after the Bruins got it last year, breaking the all-time win record in the process, I'm not so sure if I'd want that mark if I'm a Rangers fan.
I'm not sure either, but go Bees. That's all I got to say,
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, something that I'm hoping is not icy, though, is the weather. Let's see what Kaitlin Campbell has to say about it after the break.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. Yeah! Oh, I thought you were on my team.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Let's take one last look at your weather. Tomorrow when you wake up, it's going to be about 48 degrees, pretty sunny, but you'll see some clouds, and eventually that rain will move in later in the afternoon. Now, I have to show 2 pictures of the day, actually. The first one is my run from this morning. I love going to Berry Park. So beautiful out, and it was a great morning for a run. But my second one is a photo of the weekend of our very own John at the Masters. You can see he was here with Tiger Woods. And so I obviously had to include that, but that's all I have for weather. John,
And that's my mom there, right next to me. I'm in the blue with the visor, and then I got my mom there. Really special moment. But that's all we have for you today on News Live at 6.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at CitrusTV News. Now, for the entire CitrusTV News team, I'm Olivia Maniscalco.
And I'm John Perik. Take care.